Did you know that the key to living a fulfilling life isn't found in material success or external achievements, but in mastering the art of inner peace and embracing a higher spiritual purpose? We often search for happiness in all the wrong places through possessions, status, or validation from others, only to find that the more we chase, the emptier we feel. If you want to experience true happiness, inner peace, and fulfillment, you need to do something entirely different. Take control of your perception, live in the present moment, and tap into a spiritual force greater than yourself. Sounds simple, right? But in a world full of distractions and pressures, it's easier said than done. But here's the best secret I've ever heard. The foundation of your happiness and success lies not in what you do, but in who you become, a person grounded in inner peace, gratitude, and alignment with something spiritually superior. When you master these areas, life begins to open up in ways you never imagined. Avoid this mistake. If you think you need to have everything figured out, to have the perfect job, perfect relationship, or the perfect circumstances in life to experience peace and fulfillment, you're missing the point. True peace comes not from the external world, but from within. You can start right now, wherever you are, to shift your mindset and embrace a new way of being. In this video, we're diving into how to cultivate inner peace and embrace what is spiritually superior. These are not just abstract ideas, they are transformative practices that will change how you see the world, how you respond to life's challenges, and how you connect with others. So, if you're ready to unlock a deeper level of peace and purpose, let's begin this journey together. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Number 1. Control your perception. We all know those moments, right? Times when life feels overwhelming, the world seems to be against us, and every little setback feels like the end of the world. We've all been there, maybe in school, work, or personal relationships. It's like everything is out of our hands, and nothing is going the way we want. And yet, despite all the struggles, there's a simple, powerful truth that could change everything. Your perception controls your reality. When we look at life through a lens of despair, disappointment, or frustration, that's what we invite into our lives. But what if you could learn to shift that lens, to adjust the way you see the world and the challenges it throws at you? Imagine seeing a difficult situation not as a roadblock, but as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become better. It's not easy, but it's possible. This is exactly what Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered philosophers in history, taught us. At first glance, his advice may seem simple, even trivial, but in reality, it's incredibly profound. He said, "Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth." Think about that for a moment. How many times have you looked at a situation, been frustrated, upset, or angry, only to realize that it was your perception of that situation that caused those emotions, not the situation itself? If someone cuts you off on the road, it's easy to feel rage. But what if, instead of getting upset, you considered that maybe they're running late or dealing with something far worse? By controlling how you perceive that moment, you can take away its power over your emotions. The idea of perception isn't just philosophical, it's practical. For example, think about a job interview. If you go into it thinking, "I'm going to fail," "I'm not good enough," those thoughts will affect how you perform, right? You'll be nervous, anxious, and disconnected from the interview. But if you change your perspective, maybe too, this is an opportunity to learn and grow. Suddenly, the interview becomes less about whether you'll fail and more about showing your potential, regardless of the outcome. This shift in perception is powerful because it directly impacts your response to the world around you. It's not just about reframing thoughts, though. It's also about detachment. Detachment doesn't mean being cold or indifferent. It means understanding that the struggles you face today, whether they're financial, emotional, or relational, are temporary. Life moves in cycles, and nothing lasts forever. The sooner we learn to detach from the overwhelming grip of life's difficulties, the sooner we realize they won't define us. They won't break us. But what about the nostalgia that creeps in? The times we've faced hardship and thought that was the worst it could get. Haven't we all been there, thinking we couldn't possibly move on or let go? When we're nostalgic about our past struggles, it's easy to forget how much we've grown since then. Think about it. At the time, it felt like the end of the world. Number 2, live in the present moment. If you take a moment right now, think about everything that's going on in your life. You're likely juggling multiple things: work deadlines, family obligations, personal goals, relationships, health concerns. The list goes on and on. How many of these things are actually happening right now? How many of these things are lingering in your mind, pulling you into the past or projecting you into the future? It's so easy to get caught up in the endless cycle of worrying about what has happened or what could happen. You think about that argument from last week, or you start to fret about the presentation at work next month. Before you know it, you've wasted an hour or more of your day, and your mind is still racing with worries and regrets. What if I told you that these moments, the ones where you're stuck thinking about what's gone wrong or what might go wrong, are robbing you of the only real thing you have: the present? Marcus Aurelius, despite his immense power and authority, understood that the present moment was where true power lies. He reminds us that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The idea of living in the present isn't just about mindfulness. It's about realizing that this moment, right now, is the only thing you truly control. We've all heard the advice to live in the moment, but how many of us actually practice it? Life today is more distracting than ever. Our phones, social media, constant news updates, work emails, it all pulls our attention in 1,000 different directions. Yet, in the middle of all this, we rarely stop to focus on the here and now. How many times have you been at dinner with family, but your mind is on your email inbox? Or you're at a friend's wedding, but you're already stressing about the work week ahead? It's a universal experience. Take a moment and think about some of the best memories of your life. I bet you're not thinking about some big, abstract event. You're thinking about the small moments: the time you laughed with a close friend, or the quiet mornings spent with your family. Those were moments when you were fully immersed in life. And that's the key to inner peace: being present. Not just physically, but mentally and emotionally present. And like any good habit, it takes practice. In times of stress or when life becomes overwhelming, we tend to drift away from the present moment. We start thinking about the past, worrying about mistakes we've made, or we project ourselves into the future, imagining what could go wrong. But what if, instead of getting pulled into that spiral, you could just pause and take a deep breath? This moment is all you need. What if you could be fully aware of how your body feels, how your breath moves, or even the sounds around you? There's a certain nostalgia that comes with realizing how fleeting moments are. We all remember the times when we were young and life seemed so simple. As we grow older, we find ourselves running from one task to the next, always planning ahead, always caught in the rush of life. It's easy to forget how to just be in the moment. But when you pause and truly experience life as it happens, you reconnect with something essential: the present, with all its imperfections and beauty. So let's be curious for a moment. What would your life look like if you chose to live fully in each moment, without the pull of past regrets or future worries? Imagine your day, your interactions, your experiences, all lived with complete presence. What could you achieve in your work, your relationships, and your personal growth if you gave each moment your full attention? The truth is, the present moment holds infinite potential for growth and connection, if only we allow ourselves to be present in it. Number 3. Humility and empathy. Humility and empathy. These two words might seem simple enough on the surface, but when you really think about them, they hold incredible weight. It's easy to assume that the world revolves around us, especially in a time when success is often measured by individual achievement and self-promotion. But when you pause and reflect on it, you realize how important it is to acknowledge our imperfections, our limitations, and the very real struggles that others go through. The truth is, we've all been guilty of thinking we're better than others at some point in our lives. It could be a situation at work where you feel like your contributions aren't being recognized, or a moment in a social setting when someone's behavior rubs you the wrong way. You find yourself judging others, thinking, why can't they just get it together? It's human nature. But Marcus Aurelius invites us to think differently. He challenges us with a thought that hits home. Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself, what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I'm about to criticize? Isn't that profound? Before we criticize someone else, we should pause and reflect on our own flaws and mistakes. It's a powerful reminder of the humility we all need in order to grow. How often do we look at others through a lens of judgment instead of understanding? How many times do we see someone else's behavior and automatically assume it's their fault without considering their perspective? Empathy plays a huge role here. Empathy is the ability to truly understand and feel the emotions of others. When you approach people with empathy, you stop viewing them as obstacles, adversaries, or competitors. Instead, you see them as fellow human beings navigating life's challenges, just like you. This deeper understanding allows for more meaningful connections, stronger relationships, and an increased ability to navigate life's ups and downs. Think back to a time when someone truly empathized with you. Maybe it was during a tough time at work, or when you were going through personal struggles. That person didn't just offer advice, they listened, truly listened. They understood your pain, your frustrations, and they didn't try to fix it immediately. Instead, they sat with you, they validated your feelings, and in doing so, they made you feel seen and heard. That moment likely stayed with you long after it happened, didn't it? That's the power of empathy. So, how can we cultivate humility and empathy in our own lives? Start by practicing active listening. When someone speaks to you, don't just wait for your turn to respond. Instead, truly listen with the intent to understand. Ask open-ended questions that encourage deeper conversations. And when you find yourself on the receiving end of criticism, don't rush to defend yourself. Instead, take a moment to reflect. Is there truth in what they're saying? Could you learn something from this moment? Humility and empathy are essential tools for building resilience. They allow you to navigate challenges with grace, understanding, and a deeper connection to those around you. And in a world that can sometimes feel disconnected, these qualities are more important than ever. Number 4. Gratitude. Gratitude is one of the most transformative practices in life. It might seem like a simple emotion, something we acknowledge when we receive gifts or when someone does something kind for us. But in reality, gratitude is far more than just saying thank you or recognizing a kindness. It is a profound way of shifting our focus and reprogramming our mind to see the beauty in every situation, even in the most difficult of times. Think back to the last time you felt truly grateful. Was it when someone helped you during a rough patch? Or when you achieved something you worked so hard for? In that moment, gratitude didn't just make you feel happy, it also made you feel connected. It strengthened the bond between you and the person who helped you or made you feel good about yourself. It's in these moments that we realize how gratitude is not just a passive emotion, but an active, powerful force that can change the very way we experience life. Now, consider the opposite for a moment. Think about times when you've been ungrateful or taken something for granted. Perhaps you've complained about a job, or you've found yourself focused on what you don't have rather than appreciating what you do. In those moments, didn't it seem like the world had nothing good to offer? But when you choose gratitude, you're choosing to see the world through a new lens. The key to practicing gratitude isn't simply to feel it when things are going well. It's to make gratitude a habit, an ongoing practice, especially when things are tough. Take the time to notice the small things around you, the warmth of the sun on your face, the sound of your favorite music playing, a friend reaching out just to check in. These little moments are often overlooked, but they are the building blocks of a deeply fulfilling life. It's easy to get caught up in wanting more, chasing bigger goals, and always focusing on what's next. However, gratitude teaches us that contentment and peace come from appreciating the journey as much as the destination. The impact of gratitude extends beyond the individual. When you live with gratitude, it becomes contagious. It spreads to those around you. Think of the times you've been with someone who constantly shows appreciation, how their positivity lights up the room. It's magnetic. Gratitude has this incredible ability to not only elevate our mood, but also to strengthen our relationships. When you express gratitude to others, you're deepening your connection with them, showing that you see them, that you value them, that they matter. These are the kinds of bonds that carry you through the hardest times. But here's the twist: gratitude is also an antidote to adversity. Life is filled with challenges, setbacks, and moments of hardship. But if you are able to find something, anything, to be grateful for in the midst of those difficult times, you will begin to notice a shift. For instance, losing a job might seem like a setback, but if you look for the silver lining, you might realize it's an opportunity to pursue something you're truly passionate about, something that could lead to a more fulfilling career. When you practice gratitude during adversity, it shifts your focus away from the problem and directs it toward the possibility. That shift from frustration to appreciation might seem subtle, but it's powerful. It opens up new paths of thought, new ways of seeing the world, and it allows you to move through life with a sense of abundance rather than scarcity. The key to gratitude isn't in just feeling thankful, it's in recognizing what is worthy of gratitude in your life, no matter how small or fleeting. As you start to cultivate gratitude, you might notice that even on the toughest days, you feel a sense of peace. Gratitude doesn't ignore life's difficulties. It doesn't pretend they aren't there. Instead, it coexists with them. It's a decision, a practice, that helps you see beyond your struggles and into the blessings that are woven into the fabric of your everyday existence. No matter where you are in your journey, gratitude invites you to celebrate life as it is. And in doing so, it creates an energy of hope, healing, and possibility. Number 5. How to turn adversity into growth. Adversity. It's something that every single person experiences at some point in their lives. Whether it's the loss of a loved one, the breakdown of a relationship, a financial setback, or a health issue, adversity comes in many forms. It's an undeniable part of life. And yet, despite its inevitability, there's a common thread in the way people respond to it. Many of us view adversity as something to be feared, avoided, or even resented. But what if adversity wasn't something to fear? What if it was something to embrace? What if, instead of seeing it as a hindrance, we saw it as a catalyst for growth? When life knocks you down, it's natural to feel upset, overwhelmed, or even defeated. But here's the thing. Adversity can be one of your greatest teachers. It doesn't have to break you, it can build you. The challenge lies in how you choose to respond. If you face adversity with a mindset of resilience and growth, it transforms from a stumbling block to a stepping stone. Think back to a time when you faced a difficult situation. Maybe it was a time when everything seemed to go wrong and you felt helpless. But if you look back now, with the benefit of hindsight, didn't that moment shape you? Didn't it teach you something valuable? Adversity forces us to confront parts of ourselves we would otherwise avoid: the fears, the doubts, the insecurities. And in doing so, it helps us discover strength we didn't know we had. When we face adversity, there's always an opportunity to grow. It's not about the circumstances, but about how we respond to them. For instance, when a business fails or a project doesn't go as planned, it's easy to get discouraged. But think of all the lessons that come with failure: lessons about perseverance, creativity, and adaptability. The more you embrace these lessons, the more you can turn adversity into an opportunity for self-discovery and growth. But growth isn't always easy. It's often uncomfortable. It requires you to step outside of your comfort zone, to face your fears, and to take action even when you feel uncertain. Yet, it's in this discomfort that the greatest transformations occur. When you embrace adversity as an opportunity to grow, you start to see setbacks not as roadblocks, but as detours leading to a greater understanding of yourself and the world around you. How do you turn adversity into growth? Start by changing the narrative in your mind. Number 6. The quality of your thoughts determines the happiness of your life. Have you ever stopped to think about the thoughts running through your mind? The average person has thousands of thoughts every single day, but what many of us don't realize is how much power these thoughts have over our lives. They shape our reality, influence our emotions, and ultimately determine the happiness we experience. The quality of your thoughts can either fuel your joy or perpetuate your suffering. In other words, your mind is the architect of your life. Consider the times when you've been in a negative mindset. Maybe you've been through a tough breakup, a job loss, or just a series of frustrating events. In these moments, your thoughts likely spiraled, right? You probably began to dwell on what's wrong in your life, or you started to focus on all the things you couldn't control. When you get caught in these negative loops, it feels like your whole world is falling apart. But what if you could take control of those thoughts? What if you could change the narrative from one of negativity to one of positivity and possibility? The truth is, your thoughts are not the same as your reality. Thoughts are just mental patterns, not facts. And this is where Marcus Aurelius' wisdom comes into play. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. If your thoughts are filled with self-doubt, fear, and negativity, you'll likely feel unhappy. But if you can shift your thoughts toward positivity, gratitude, and abundance, you'll start to experience a more joyful, fulfilling life. What does this look like in practice? It begins with mindfulness. Pay attention to the thoughts that arise throughout your day. When a negative thought comes up, don't engage with it. Instead, observe it, acknowledge it, and let it pass by. You can replace it with a more positive thought, one that aligns with the life you want to create. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about taking responsibility for your mental state and choosing thoughts that will empower you rather than drag you down. Changing the quality of your thoughts requires consistency and effort. It's not something that happens overnight. But with time, you can train your mind to focus on what's good, what's working, and what's possible, rather than on what's wrong or what you fear might happen. The more you do this, the more you will notice how your thoughts directly impact your emotions, and your emotions in turn influence your actions and experiences. You see, happiness isn't something that just happens to you, it's something you create with your thoughts. And by cultivating a positive, abundant, and growth-oriented mindset, you can experience a life filled with greater joy, peace, and fulfillment. It's all about the quality of your thoughts. Number 7. Cultivating inner peace. Inner peace is often seen as an abstract concept, something people long for but feel distant from, especially in the hectic world we live in. With endless responsibilities, digital distractions, the pressures of social comparison, and the constant bombardment of negative news, it's no wonder so many people feel overwhelmed. But despite all the chaos and challenges life throws at us, inner peace is not an unattainable ideal. It is a skill, a practice, and a choice. Think for a moment about a time when you felt truly at peace. Maybe it was during a quiet walk in nature, when everything around you seemed still, or perhaps it was a simple moment spent with a loved one, where time stood still and nothing else mattered. These moments are reminders that peace is always available to us, even in the most tumultuous of times. Inner peace is not about escaping life's difficulties, but learning to maintain a calm, centered state despite them. You might be asking, how do I cultivate inner peace when the world feels so chaotic? The first step is acknowledging that inner peace is a skill you can develop. It doesn't require retreating from the world or living in seclusion. In fact, true inner peace arises from the ability to stay grounded, centered, and present no matter what is happening around you. It's about finding your sense of stillness in the midst of motion. One of the key elements in cultivating inner peace is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of bringing your full attention to the present moment without judgment. In today's fast-paced society, we often find ourselves either dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. But in the present moment, there is a profound sense of peace that we can access. When you focus on the here and now, you quiet the constant chatter in your mind. You let go of regret, of fear, of what might have been or what could be. By simply being fully present, you experience a deep sense of calm. Start small. Take a few minutes every day to sit in silence, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Feel the rise and fall of your chest with each inhale and exhale. Allow your thoughts to come and go without attachment. This practice doesn't require you to empty your mind or achieve perfection. It's about observing your thoughts and letting them pass without judgment. In doing so, you begin to train your mind to focus on what truly matters and release the constant noise that often prevents us from experiencing peace. Another powerful practice for cultivating inner peace is gratitude. As we discussed earlier, gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. When you appreciate the little things, the warmth of the sun, a friend's smile, the sound of your favorite song, you invite more peace into your life. You stop focusing on the what-ifs and instead focus on the what is, grounding yourself in the present moment. But inner peace also involves boundaries. In a world where people are always asking for more of your time, your energy, your attention, it's easy to become depleted. Setting clear boundaries allows you to conserve your energy and focus on what truly nourishes you. Whether it's saying no to a social obligation that doesn't align with your values or taking time to rest and recharge, boundaries help protect your inner peace. It's about prioritizing your own well-being, recognizing that you can't pour from an empty cup. Number 8. Embrace what is spiritually superior. In our busy modern lives, it's easy to forget that there is something far greater than ourselves, something that transcends the material world and connects us to the deeper spiritual aspects of existence. Whether you identify with a particular faith, a spiritual practice, or simply a sense of universal connection, embracing what is spiritually superior has the power to transform your life. What does it mean to embrace what is spiritually superior? It means recognizing and aligning with a higher purpose, a higher power, or a deeper truth that transcends the individual ego. This could be a connection to a higher power, the universe, nature, or even the collective consciousness of humanity. Whatever it is, it's about stepping beyond the self and recognizing that there is something far greater at play in the universe. For many people, embracing what is spiritually superior begins with a sense of humility. In a world where we are constantly told to achieve more, be more, and have more, it can be easy to become consumed by our own desires and ambitions. We may forget that we are not the center of the universe. By embracing a higher spiritual truth, we acknowledge that there is more to life than our own individual experiences. We realize that we are part of a larger whole, and our purpose is to align with that greater force. This shift in perspective can be both humbling and liberating. When we understand that we are part of something much bigger than ourselves, we begin to see life differently. We let go of the need for constant validation or success, and instead we focus on fulfilling our true purpose in the world. This might look like serving others, contributing to the greater good, or simply living with integrity and authenticity. In embracing what is spiritually superior, we also come to understand that spirituality is not about perfection, it's about growth. It's about recognizing that the path to spiritual enlightenment is not a linear one. There will be setbacks, challenges, and times when you feel lost. But each step along the way is an opportunity for growth, for deepening your understanding of who you truly are, and for connecting with something greater than yourself. Spiritual growth is about evolving beyond the ego, releasing attachment to material things, and cultivating a sense of compassion, love, and wisdom. For some, this path leads them to explore specific spiritual practices such as meditation, prayer, or mindfulness. For others, it may involve connecting with nature, serving the community, or engaging in acts of kindness. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this: mastering the art of inner peace and embracing a higher spiritual purpose is not just a concept. It's a transformative journey that can completely shift the way you live. By controlling your perception, living in the present moment, and tapping into a source of spiritual strength, you can unlock a level of fulfillment and resilience that most people only dream of. If you're ready to embrace these teachings and make them a part of your life, you're already on the path to becoming your best self. Drop 100 if you've watched this far. This shows that you're part of the 0.01% who actually finish what they start. And if you're serious about making lasting changes in your life, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our channel. You won't want to miss the next step in your journey to a life of inner peace, resilience, and fulfillment.